Welcome, Solara here. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm sorry that I've left you since I think Wednesday. I haven't come back to give you a message since Wednesday. My apologies for being away. I did take some time off to integrate some of the activations coming through, and I also have been busy working with some of you guys, specifically doing some Tarotstrology reports, and that always requires a deep commitment in terms of my energy for what I bring through with those reports. So I'm back today. I have downloads. I might pull some cards also. I also want to give a big thank you and a shout out to all of you who have in the past few days sent me donations. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for sewing into my work. Thank you for helping my light to increase. By increasing me in all ways. I appreciate you. And thank you to the beautiful soul who sent me a deck. I did receive your deck. I don't ever like to put people's names out on platforms, so I don't know people's level of comfort with that, but I received your beautiful Dragon Oracle deck, and whew, it spoke to me in powerful ways. So thank you so much for thinking about me. Thank you for gifting me. I truly do appreciate you, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate every one of you that have taken the time to come and hang out with me tonight. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscribes. Thank you to those of you who come to me for help or for services. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for helping me to be in my divine power and truth. I appreciate you. So, it's getting interesting. We are moving out of February, 1:55 on my clock. And I've been seeing that number 55, 55, a lot in the past few days. That is the number of change. That is the number of graduation. That is the number of the things that must occur now in order for the new cycle to be birthed in a very stable way. It's Hierophant energy. It's also speaking to me of the fact that many of you have closed out, those contracts, the ones we were talking about a few weeks ago, those oaths and those vows that you may have still had you bound in these contracts or in these energies, or was still giving people a certain degree of access to you. This 5-5 energy is showing me that you've graduated from that. It's beautiful. But a message that was coming through, many messages coming through, but let's start with this one. This might actually even be the title of the reading. I heard that someone doesn't want their coach turning back into a pumpkin. Someone doesn't want their coach turning back into a pumpkin. Somebody doesn't want their coach turning back into a pumpkin. Now, if you guys are familiar with Cinderella, you know that when the clock struck midnight, everything turned back. The magic was over, right? Party time is over. The magic was over. Everything turned back to what it was. And it's like we are in a window of time right now, especially as we move towards this corridor, towards the new moon in Aries via the full moon in Virgo next week, as well as other planetary transits that are about to light shit up. The magic is failing. The magic of the Matrix is failing, and all of those who tried to uphold it and have done everything to bind you in order to keep it upheld. Their magic is failing. Their coaches are turning back into pumpkins because they no longer have the energetic resources to keep their illusions alive. And a big part of them losing their energetic resources to keep their illusions alive has been you taking back your power. It's so many things, including the fact that the ascension process has, like I've spoken in many videos, it's made it so that they're not, the quality of energies that we are in right now as a collective no longer supports their shenanigans. Gaia spits their shit out of the earth. They can't ground their magic anymore. So this is one thing, but even that was brought on because of you. You have been leading this ascension with your choice to heal, with your choice to grow your light, with your choice to close down contracts, with your choice to stand in your truth. And now, divine beings, you are being called to access your joy, to access your joy. But in the meantime, there are those who have been using your energy and your magic in order to make their pumpkins appear to be coaches, and they're losing it right now. And they are frantic to keep their illusions alive. And this is on every level. And as such, the energies that you're being thrown at right now are chaos. They're chaos energies, because there's all manner of shit they be throwing at us right now, from death spells to confusion spells to still trying to access our dreams, but with very low success, if any at all. I don't think they have any ability, because one download I was getting also is that for many of us, there have been astral protection upgrades. And so, especially in the past few days, there were a lot of activations that came through for us over the past few days to help us become more protected as we climb, as we ascend, you know. And many of them are growing very frustrated with this level of security that's occurring with your energy field, because you just keep on leveling up with the security. This is what's happening. This is what's occurring when you take their death energy and you alchemize it into transforming yourself, then you gain greater protection over yourself. That's ultimately what this death energy is designed to do. It's part of I spoke about this in another video. It's part of the divine plan, for as long as you don't allow yourself to fall prey to being victimized by it, because that's what they want you to do, and instead recognize that death is the raw material for transformation, for alchemy. So when they send you that shit, it's to tap into your deep, potent energies of alchemy. They are returning to you your golden alchemy. This is what's happening right now. They are literally, every time they come into your fields, especially right now, what they are returning to you are your golden alchemy codes. They are returning to you the gifts that some of you have had from the beginning of time, because some of y'all are that ancient because you were needed for this turn of ages. So some of you literally are being gifted back things and resources that you were gifted by Gaia. You were gifted by Mother and Father God from the beginning of Earth, from the time where humans began to incarnate on this planet. And for some of you, you might not even have started on this planet as a human. Who knows? But for some of you, you've been here from the beginning of this Earth project. Let's put it that way. And you are receiving back those gifts from the beginning of time. That's what Spirit told me, because we are in Alpha and Omega energies right now. And indeed, moving up to this new moon in Aries, which is an Omega and Alpha portal, which is why the new moon in Aries is occurring at 0 point. 0 point is a Alpha and Omega portal. It's when the simultaneous end of a cycle and the simultaneous beginning of one, but because it's also beginning with the astrological new year at that degree, it's an even more potent portal than, I don't know, the last time it may have been this potent in this time of the year. Like, understand and understand that every year this portal is here, but this year, this portal is designed to take you into the new earth. Okay? And I want to say that this is why the energies are like this right now. So I ain't going to come here and pretend that things are about to get easier, because they probably aren't. But you are going to get better. And I can tell you that even though things energetically might be about to get harder, your level up is going to be such that it's not going to feel that way. For as long as you tune into what is available to you, the resources that are available to you as a divine being to combat this. And one of the main resources that we're really being asked to utilize and to perfect right now is our faith, right? So what my guides were showing me right now also is that we are in that energy of having been, they kept showing me the story of when Moses frees, when Moses at last was able to take the Israelites out of Egypt. So many of you might be familiar with, the story of Exodus and Moses and how he came back to free his people after finding out that he actually wasn't Pharaoh's son. So he came back to free the Israelites, the ones that he had actually treated as slaves up until his realization too. So he came back to free them. Pharaoh was stubborn and stiff-necked, as the Bible says, and kept on saying yes, and then reneging on the deal. Kept on saying, yes, Moses, you can take your people out into the wilderness to worship God. That's how it began, right? And then ultimately God said, enough, no, you're going to let my people go. And Pharaoh thought he was bigger than God. Pharaoh thought all of his magicians were going to be greater than Moses, who was really a root worker. They thought they were, he thought that they were greater. And Pharaoh, not for nothing, was, and this is important to note also, Pharaoh was under grave deception. And this was part of his judgment too. You see, if you read the story, or even if you watch The Prince of Egypt, you know that Pharaoh has this moment of doubt. Like he's constantly going back and forth with believing that what Moses is doing is unique to the God of Israel. But then his magicians come and they do something crafty that looks the same, and it quietens him for a while. So here you see someone who's completely out of tune with their own intuition because they are out of connection with spirit. And so because he trusted these magicians, who ultimately were there to kowtow to him anyway and to feed him these lies in order to save their asses, in the end, he ended up, losing all of his economy, right? All of his slaves. So anyway, I say that because there was a pivotal moment in the story where Pharaoh finally says, enough. Moses, I've had enough. Take your people and go. And that is when God sent a plague upon every firstborn Egyptian son, much like they did, much like the Egyptians had done to the Israelites, and why Moses ended up in the palace to begin with. Because the Egyptians had done that originally to the Israelites, had killed every firstborn child because they didn't want them to revolt. They didn't want them to grow in number and to grow in power. So now God, because the divine brings everything back full circle, right? This is why we're going here tonight, because we're talking about karma. It may have taken 40 years to raise Moses up, well, longer than that, in order to be able to do it, but it got done, right, in the end. So the very same thing that Pharaoh enacted against the Israelites, God came and brought the equalizing energy to the Egyptian firstborns. And in order to make sure that the Israelites weren't slaughtered, the Israelite boys, God said, place the blood of a lamb on the lintel or on the mantle of your doorway, and the angel of death, who many say was Uriel, acting in that position, will pass over you. And this is where we get the Passover. So that morning, when Pharaoh woke up and found his son dead, and all of the other Egyptians woke up and they were mourning the death of their firstborn child, Pharaoh finally said, let them go. And so there's that iconic moment in The Prince of Egypt, where they start to sing and dance, and they're heading towards the Red Sea. And just when they reach the shore and they're in their freedom and they can taste it, they look up and they can see Pharaoh with his chariots and all of his army ready to come. And what I want you to recognize and realize is that Pharaoh's choice to pursue the Israelites was a very ungrounded energy, rooted in anger and the need to avenge, and very much based upon grief. It was very ungrounded energy. And as such, that was the energy that Pharaoh was coming at the Israelites with. And this is where we get the miracle where God opens the Red Sea, the Israelites go through, they pass. Pharaoh's on their tail, the walls of water are up. I just saw a flame go up. I have a candle and there was a little bit of ash that just went up. Pharaoh's in hot pursuit. The Israelites think that they're going to perish either by the waters or by Pharaoh, and then all of a sudden the waters, they get to the other side, and the waters that had opened up for them then take all of the Egyptian cavalries under. And it's the end of that for them, that part of their enslavement, right? And this is where we are right now. Many of us are at the shore of the Red Sea, and we are moving what this energy is that we're about to step into up until the new moon in Aries, which my guides are telling me is, like I said, is an Alpha Omega portal. This energy portal is a portal of miracles, right? For as long as we utilize that power and we recognize that miracles are actually our birthright as divine beings. But because of that, the energy that wants to come against you to steal your miracle is going to be greater. But again, the point of this is that because the energy of what it is that you're about to receive is so strong, it must match the energy that is being brought against you. So in other words, because the gifts you're recovering are so potent, and many of you have waited lifetimes for this moment, right? It needs an equally potent energy in order for it to be returned to you. So what's happening is a lot of these people, when they're sending this death energy into your fields, it is actually activating your ability to receive these energies back for yourself. And that is the purpose of why these death energies and all of this other shit that they're throwing at divine ones right now, it is written and it is necessary and it is an activation. Like I often say, you know, and some of you are also, you're getting back your gifts from the beginning of time, but you're also getting back what it is that you lost in the last golden age. Whether you lost it because you gave it up or it was taken from you, it doesn't matter. What you had in the previous golden age that allowed for that golden age to be sustained is what is being returned to you right now. And for many of you, your gifts of golden alchemy, that's what they've been speaking to me, are returning right now. So if that's you, you may have been having all manner of solar plexus activations and awakenings that are going to present themselves in all of us very differently, because it's working with our individual biochemistry and our individual energy and our individual assignments, right? But so for some of you, I say that because for some of you, the solar plexus activations will come with discomfort. And for others of you, it's going to come with like floods of joy, because that's really what it's there to reconnect you to. So it's all depending on the density of what you're clearing in order to access that portal of joy, which ultimately opens your stargate and helps you to become who you are in the heavens on the earth. Okay, so this is what's happening right now. Another download I got a few days ago was that someone will be thrown off the boat under the waxing moon. This is what they said to me very specifically. They said, under the waxing moon, someone will be thrown off the boat. And then they said to me, the gibbous moon. Okay, so I think we're moving into, I didn't check when the gibbous moon technically is, but they were showing me a moon that was waxing almost into its fullness. So right up until like maybe a few days of next week's full moon in Virgo, which I think is happening on Tuesday. It's happening on the day of Mars, right? So someone will be thrown off the boat under the waxing moon. And what they're saying with this energy is that it's like these groups are dismantling themselves because, like I said to you about that Pharaoh energy, it's ungrounded. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of shock. There's a lot of reacting instead of grounding and then moving with an energy. They don't know how to do that. It's this reaching for things in the dark because of desperation. Right? That's the nature. It's a chaotic energy. That's the irony, is that they're trying to throw chaos at you and it's actually making them more chaotic. And if you know anything about energy work, magic, whatever you want to call it, when you are not grounded, if you are doing any energy work and you're not grounded, then you are not able to properly direct the intention and allow it to root. So they're already working with these energies of Gaia not wanting to ground their magic for them anyway. And then on top of that, they can't even ground it in their own energy because of the sheer chaos that they've created from themselves, constantly throwing shit at you, but also because they've been unplugged out of your energy. And for many of you, being plugged into you was what was providing them the balance they actually needed to work this magic against you. Ain't that crazy, right? But that, again, is a testament of how fucking powerful you are, right? So what I'm being shown is like there's something about like someone who's been a big part of the energies that have been working against you. They're going to be like removed. They're going to be thrown off the boat, but they're going to be thrown off the boat by one of the ones in the actual group that is worth. So for example, if you've been dealing with a coven or an order and there's somebody close to you who you know gave them access to your energy, they're about to throw that person off the boat. They're about to say, you are not worth the drama. It's not worth it. Like maybe they're going to try to get to you directly. I don't know. But whoever it was that they were using to get to you, they're about to discard. They're like, it's not worth it to me anymore. You are chaotic. You haven't achieved what it is we asked you to do. That person is going to be removed from the ability to fuck with you. But it's going to be by the hand of the ones who were sending them to you to begin with, if that makes sense, okay? And this person that will be thrown off the boat is someone who constantly, now this person was close enough to you that you trusted them enough to give you guidance, right? They constantly gave you guidance that it seemed to make sense to you. It seemed logical, but it also, even though it seemed like the logical thing to do, it wasn't in alignment with what you intuitively felt. But because you trusted this person and they seemed so stable, you listened to them. But the thing about their guidance was it was a mind control trick. It was psychological fuckery. They purposely were guiding you in the direction that is opposite to your north node. They were purposely giving you guidance to keep you out of your north node. That was the whole point of them giving you guidance. And we know as divine beings that a lot of the stuff that they tell us is logical and will get us somewhere in the 3D is often not true if you are wanting to ascend. And that was exactly the point. So, for example, they may have told you to make a decision with your money that seemed to be a really good idea at the time, given the financial climate, knowing full well that it was going to bind you into something. It was how they kind of bound you in situations, right? They would do these things because it went. And I want you to recognize and realize that a lot of these people knew your destiny. They knew your divine path. A lot of them were tuned into your astrology, your birth chart. They were siphoning through the energies of that. So they knew what direction divinely or what energies you needed to be moving towards. And at every turn, they would try to get you off that path. But they would always use guidance that seemed in like 3D matrix reality to be logical, which is why you fell for it, but also it's because you trusted them. And again, Spirit's wanting me to reiterate this. You trusted them because they seemed to be so balanced. And the meanwhile, you didn't know that the reason they were so balanced was because they were constantly doing things to keep you in a state of imbalance so that they could then take that energy for themselves. Okay? There is someone here called Salty, a Rick, a Dick, a Richard. There is some big player here and he is salty AF. And it might be Rick, Richard, Dick. Salty Rick was how I heard it, who is the one who's about to throw them off the boat. Okay? So what's going on right now is that they're wondering how you're evading their attacks. They're wondering how you're evading and alchemizing these attacks. And so the strategy that my guides were showing me, I think it was like Friday or Saturday, because remember that we're moving into the full moon in Virgo. And I spoke about this in the last video in a different way. But we are moving towards a full moon in Virgo, which means we are coming through a completion, an energy of completion within the domain of Virgo and energies. And Virgo is what rules over the 6th house, but Virgo also rules over your health. Virgo rules over your ability to make your body your home. Right? Before you're able to extend your energy to anyone else, you must first be grounded and at home in your own body. So the energies right now, even as chaotic as they are, they're actually helping you to come back into a space where you are once again grounded and at home in your own body. And in that place, you get to recover things like your health and your daily routine. And you activate the protection of your solar plexus and your solar codes, which your golden alchemy, it's in there. It's in your solar energies, right? And Virgo is the guardian of that energy. So there's a lot happening right now with this full moon, with the moving towards the full moon in Virgo. It's you getting your golden alchemy back, and this energy of the guardians, your true guardians of your energy, are stepping up now. And this is how in other ways your protection is leveling up too naturally. Okay? Because these people once upon a time had access to these codes because they kept you so unbalanced to the point where you did not have command or ownership of your own fields or your own vessel, your own ship. And as such, they were able to connect to your energy and take these things for themselves and cloak themselves in your energy and use your energies as if they were their inventions. And all of that is coming to an end. And another thing that so I have here many of the so-called inventions of this of the age were created by hacking your fields. They were created by hacking your fields and stealing your wisdom and your intergalactic technology and your multidimensional gifts. So for some of you, for many of you, for all of us really, we have been batteries that have been providing wisdom, energy, technology to a lot of the things that have come out in this time as great inventions, and that they've then sold back to us. There's no more of that. Okay, some of you. Spirit was saying to me, you are the original spark. And this goes back to that the gifts from the beginning of time. Some of you have been here from the time when 222 on my clock. It's like from the time that fire came into existence on Earth. You get what I'm saying? Like, you are the original spark. That's what they were showing me, which is, of course, Ace of Wands energy. And Ace of Wands energy is Aries, right? It's all the signs to some extent, but it kicks off the Aries energy of the fire signs. So they kept on trying to plug into that energy, that which is you, and take it from you in order to fuel their projects and their empires. So back to this energy of they're wondering how you're evading and alchemizing these attacks. So as we move to the full moon in Virgo, what it is that they're really looking into to mess with you, because understand and overstand, and I've said this before and I'll keep on saying it because it's a really important thing to remember, that for every energy that we are working through in order to gain a gift, that is the very thing that comes under attack. So right now we are moving towards this energy of reclaiming our golden alchemy, reclaiming our abilities to heal. You know, our interdimensional healing gifts are also coming through for those of you who are ready to receive them, right? That Virgo energy is assisting that. That Virgo energy is also, you know, like I said, it's a guardian of all of your wealth as a divine being. And so as such, the attacks are going to be especially, this is why there's so much death energy, and I broke this down specifically in the last video, the importance of that Virgo Pisces interplay and how they use these energies specifically to send death and sickness. This is why the energies right now are so potent, but what they're looking to disturb, ultimately, they're trying to investigate into your health. They want to know about your health, your daily routines, what are you eating, what are you doing differently. They're wanting to know what you're doing differently because they don't know how you are no longer responding in the same way to their shenanigans that once upon a time it was so easy. You see, this isn't the first time that they've done things and it's failed. But they were so cocky and arrogant that they just kept on thinking, oh, it's a fluke. They never wanted to admit that you are who you are, because admitting that ultimately means their downfall. So they're really just like Pharaoh was holding on to this deception that was being fed to him by these magicians, right? They're holding on to this false idea and false narrative of who you once were in order to bring them comfort so that they don't have to face the fact that their age is over. The age of doing this shit to other people, it's over. Which means for many of them, the loss of everything, because everything that they built and accumulated was off the backs of divine beings. So they don't want to admit to that. Right? And I even saw it in dream time. There was somebody who I know has been a major energy vampire my whole life. And not only this one, who entered into my dream and tried to talk me down and act as if I was inferior. And I turned to them and I said to them, it's your arrogance that makes you think like I'm the same person, that what you're saying to me is going to work again. It's your arrogance that makes you think that I've just been sitting here in the cage you put me in and I haven't done anything to level up. That's your arrogance. And in the dream, I saw the person's whole face fall, right? Because they really, a lot of them thought that the same tricks they've been using for the longest time, they were going to work. And when they didn't work, it was just a fluke. And now shit is becoming real because now it's time for shit to become real, right? So they are searching for that information. The information about your health, your daily routines, what you eat, what you're doing. How are you different? Because again, this is their denial. They don't want to think, oh, it's a spiritual thing. Many of them don't want to. Some of them know this, but many of them still are in denial of your access to your, reaccessing your power. So they want to make it mundane, but it's not. And so they're looking into your health, your daily routines, what you eat, what are you doing differently, right? But when my guide showed me that, they also laughed and they said, they can put together all your diet information, the herbs and the supplements you take, what you do and what you see in meditation and in prayer time, what spells and rituals you do for your own protection and self-progression, and they still won't get it. They still won't get it because the main ingredient in all of this is you. It doesn't matter what your prayers are. It doesn't matter what, and that's not me saying that your prayers aren't important. Your prayers are absolutely important. Your prayers, your return to center, all of that is important. You know what you need to do to maintain equilibrium within your fields when you are under attack and otherwise. But the point is that while those things are protecting you, ultimately the reason why they can't get to you is you. It's not the spells that you cast around yourself. And when I say spells, everything is a spell that you speak with intention, or you energetically tie intention to. Okay? So it's not about that, because they're looking for, it's like, again, these people are not in tune with spirit. So it's like people who are looking, who are coming, it's like people who are trying to create a recipe from a recipe book, and then they're coming and they're wanting to make it better than the chef who created the recipe and doesn't need the recipe in order to make the dish, and is therefore also able to improvise every time they make the dish and use their intuition to decide how to make it better. And that's nothing you're going to find in a book. It's because the chef is the chef and the originator of the material. And so they're not getting that. They're not getting it. They think that something can be found in a spell. You are the spell. You are the magic. There's no secret to your sauce. You are the sauce. That's what they said. They're like, you are the sauce. The main ingredient is you. There's nothing more potent than a divinely aligned being who is living their truth. There is nothing more potent than a divinely aligned being living their truth. One more time. There's nothing more potent than a divinely aligned being living their truth. Okay? I'm just looking at my notes. I want to see if I'm getting everything. So for many of them, another energy that was coming through is that because they can't get into your house, and when I say your house, for some of you it's like energetically they can't get into your home environment, but really this energy of the house is also you. They can't get into your energy field, which is your home. The Virgo energy, again, is about making your energy your home again. And because your protection is ramping up, your guardianship is returning as we move into these full moon in Virgo energies. They cannot access you. They cannot access your fields anymore. Once upon a time, it was like open season, and they can't just travel through your energy fields any which way they want to anymore. Okay, so your house is secured, in other words. And because of that, they're trying to smear your walls. Okay, so that's what my guides were showing me. And this is to let you know that these energies are not penetrating your field in significant ways. Like they may make you feel tired. They may make you feel, you might even get a little bit sick. But that again is it's also your ascending and being activated. But in terms of getting into your fields and altering your energy the way they can't do that anymore. So they're trying their best to smear your walls, because if they can smear your walls, then maybe they can get you to come out to clean them. You get what I'm saying? And the way that's happening energetically is that they are doing their best right now to reopen a portal that is going to bind you to an old timeline. And for many of you, the very portal, as I say that, is 2:32 on my clock, because I want to talk about this 7-year cycle again. And for some of you, it's 9. And for some of you, it was reconstituted 3 years ago also. Okay, but this 7-year contract keeps on coming up that my guides want to speak about as we move into this Alpha Omega portal. For many of you, the timeline they want to bind you to is whatever bound you in the first place to the 7-year contract. So they're trying to elicit a lot of the emotions around that time that got you trapped. And you alone know what that looked like for you. But there were significant events that occurred for you around that window of the Alpha Omega portal, which is when the sun moves from Pisces into Aries, and then the first new moon in Aries. All of that energy is the Alpha Omega. Again, it's so potent because this year is the 0 degrees in Aries. And then we have the nodes also, not for nothing, we got the nodes moving into Aries and Libra in July. So all of this is telling you how big this energy is right now. So what they're trying to do is, just like that person came to me in my dream, the energy vampire, who knew how to guide me into my own demise and destruction, while sometimes being nice and sometimes being a complete asshole about it. But that's what they do. They like to build you up, to tear you down, to build you up again, to tear you down, because it's how they command your energy too, right? There's something about who you were 7 years ago and your weaknesses then that you still might be battling with. Because realize, understand and overstand, and this is how you know these energies are here to transform you and to refine you and get you to access the highest levels of your power. Understand and overstand that the only way that they can cause the energy of what they're sending you, the only way they can get it to gain momentum enough to do anything, is if you sign off on it because you believe it's still about yourself. So this is where these attacks are coming in to show us areas where we still might have some weakness in what we are believing about ourselves divinely versus the old narratives that others still try to put on us, and we still, to some extent, are holding on to some of those energies. It's time to release them. And so these energies, these attacks are coming in to show you where you still might not believe that you're worthy. One of the biggest projections that are happening right now for the collective, especially those of you who are rising in your power and beginning to speak your truth and stand your ground and hold your energetic frequency, one of the biggest attacks and projections coming against you right now is making you believe that you're not divine, is making you believe that what you have been divinely sent to do, you are not equipped for. It's that imposter syndrome energy. It wants to come and tell you you're not an expert in the field where you are an expert because you've been picked and crowned and chosen by the divine. So it wants to take you back into an old matrix reality and narrative where everyone was telling you that you ain't shit. In order for you to cling to that energy, right? To relive that energy, to doubt yourself, for your fields to become small again. Because remember, when our fields become small, I haven't taken out the vibrational scale chart in a while, have I? When you begin to doubt yourself, then what they're ultimately trying to do is move you into fear. Oh my gosh, maybe this isn't really real. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe I'm not who my soul keeps on showing me I am. You know, maybe I am just that person that these people, energies, entities, factions always try to trap me in. Maybe I am that person, you know. And so then that's supposed to take you down, all the way back down into shame. And shame for what? Because if you are a divine being walking in your truth, that's not a frequency that's not a vibration that is yours to stay in. So that automatically will tell you it's not yours. If you're feeling shame for long periods of time and you haven't done shit and you're feeling ashamed about yourself, that's not divine. And that's where they want you, because when you're in that vibration, in that energy, your energy field becomes small. And when they can make you small, and they can make you small, right? Cut you down to size, put you in a corner, make you feel like shit about yourself, make you small and ashamed. Then they can come and give you the remedy or the guidance that you need because you don't have the ability to know better or to do better. Because again, they want to take your gifts because they have this narcissistic complex that tells them that they're supposed to be God over you. So they're supposed to take what it is that the divine has gifted you and use it for their own purposes, because you're not responsible enough. You don't know how to use the very gifts that the divine says are yours. And that in and of itself is mental illness and delusion. That energy that they're walking in. That's the truth. But yeah, what was I going to say about that? There was something else I was going to say about that. Yeah, so there's this imposter syndrome energy, these projections, because they want us to believe that what we've come here to accomplish, we're not equipped to do. And so what my guides were saying, what the divine was saying is like, how can anyone come against what is written? We are in the time. We are in a time where it is written. This is where we are. It is written energy. This is fate and destiny energy. There's nothing really that can be done. And they've known this the whole time, which is why all they could do was push it back and delay it. Okay? So be very careful of being taken into old narratives and ways of thinking about yourself and getting lost in those, well, they're portals. Don't get lost in those portals. Even if you get taken there for a moment, recover and remember who you are. Because remember, what are we fine-tuning right now also? We're fine-tuning our faith. And it's our faith in self and our abilities and what the divine said we came here to do and to be. Okay? And yeah, if you have been ordained to do something in the earth at this time, anyone who's trying to come against you in this climate is like Pharaoh. Pharaoh coming for the Israelites at the, like, it was a futile attempt. It was a stupid, like, any person who knows about the art of war, if he hadn't been surrounded by a whole bunch of lackeys that just like to kiss his ass, they themselves would have said to him, yo, chill. This isn't smart. It's not smart to go after your enemy when you're this flustered. But they didn't. And this was his downfall, right? So be aware that a lot of the projections that you're feeling about the imposter syndrome, it's also the energy you're picking up from those who are really mad that you woke up and realized that they're the imposters. Because remember, we are in it is written energy. And it is written that it is time that everyone's true form in the cosmos or in the heavenlies be realized here on the earth. So as a divine being, your divine essence and truth and reality is constantly being unwrapped and unfurled on earth in real time. But what's happening is that these ones who were running around cloaking themselves in your energies, in their slug-like, no, that's an insult to slugs. No, let me stop being mean tonight. But you get what I'm saying, that energy, that parasitic energy, they're going to be shown for that too here. Their astral truth without the cloaking energies are being revealed on earth, just like your truth and true cosmology is unfurling here. Okay? Let me see if that is everything. Okay, so they can't access your golden alchemy gifts without your gold print, and you alone have your gold print. Your gold print is your very unique frequency through your solar plexus that allows your blueprint, which are your instructions, to be actualized and, you could say, monetized, kind of, here on earth. It's where you can take your value and bring it into the earth and accrue more for it. That's your gold print, right? Your golden alchemy gifts are tied to that energy, right? But here's the thing, there's a golden rule. There's a golden rule around being able to access your golden energy. And this is where, even though they could cloak themselves in your energy, they could never fully outright steal it, because they don't know how to abide by the golden rule. And the golden rule is what it is to treat others as you would want yourself to be treated. And because they lacked the true golden essence that is that energy that is truly that of a creator. Because they lacked that, they could never actually have what you have. And this is what gnaws at them also. This is why all of it wasn't even ever enough for them just to cloak themselves in your energy. They still wanted you destroyed because they knew they could never have it on real terms. They couldn't have it. Anyway, so that's what I have in terms of downloads. I think we will go into some cards. I can't decide which deck to go into. I think I'm going to go into my energy oracle. The Journey card has come out. Yeah. Yeah, you are being led out of this. This is like, again, that energy of being at the shore. And even though, like, on her pathway, this is a girl in the picture, but, you know, it's not gender specific. Even though the light on the pathway is well, it's dim in comparison to her surroundings, right? It's just a street light, but that light is just for her. That light is leading her into her portal of miracles and being assisted. We have the Angel of Strength. So this again is what we've got, number 5 energy, the 5 energy of Leo. I mean the 5 energy of the Hierophant, but the Angel of Strength is kind of Leo, Strength card energy, 244. So yeah, this is showing me again that this is the energy of having to overcome those areas, fine-tune those areas where we still have those weaknesses, where we doubt our strength and our ability. This is what this last leg of the journey is. This is what our guides are helping us through. Like, a lot of us have so much, you know, PTSD, and I use that term loosely. I don't want to, like, offend anyone who actually may have that. Many of us actually do. I know, like, I had complex PTSD. I say had because I'm not claiming that anymore, but because of all of these cycles and what these people, energies, factions, corporations put us through. And so when good things start to come, we start to question and doubt and wait for the bottom to fall out. And so because of that, this is where we're being asked to be, to tune into, like, master our faith and our hope, knowing that we are receiving higher levels. This Angel of Strength is also higher levels of protection and guidance. This Angel of Strength is also speaking to me of this guardian energy that's coming in. Your solar plexus is under angelic protection right now, and archangelic. I'm going to the Sacred Travel deck. Yeah. See this? Wise leader. You are a beacon for others. You are the light that has been sent to show others the way out of the fuckery of the old world and the matrix. You are. And these energies at every turn want to make it seem as if your light isn't real, your light is fake, whatever it is that they're trying to do, or narrative they're trying to feed you or take you back into, to believe that you are an impostor in your own movie where you're the star. Like, whatever it is that they're trying, wherever it is that they're trying to do that, it's like it's there in order to push you past certain barriers that are going to take you deeper into your power and unlock your truth. So here, yeah, we have the impasse coming out at the bottom. So this is where we come up against certain blocks, and this is where we're called to reflect and redirect our energy. Because when we do that, then the pathway becomes wider. We begin to see better where we're going. We begin to also take note of why things are happening. You know, instead of just falling prey to the energies and feeling them take us under, we should be at a point on this journey where we're no longer just succumbing to feeling like shit and as masters of our own reality, not questioning why and trying to find the way out. You see, at every turn, there's a way out. I was just having this conversation with my daughter yesterday. No matter how many ways they try to back us in a corner, there's always a way out. It might seem like there isn't a way out, but there is, right? But I was also speaking to her about, I was speaking to her, I think it was about despair and when these energies come towards us and how we have like two choices in how we deal with the energies. We can either let them come in and sweep us away on a wave where we once again are no longer in command of our own fields and our emotions, or we can allow the energy to help us tune into a higher solution. And that doesn't mean that automatically things change, but here's the thing. A lot of the time, the reason we succumb to these floods of energy is because we feel hopeless. But if we can find a purpose and even a solution and a way out, that's where we turn a hopeless situation into hope, if that makes sense. So when something comes your way and there's a door that might be closed and it feels like the door is closed because it's an attack, for example, this is just an example, that is also a door being closed divinely because there's something bigger and better for you. But you can focus and dwell on the fact, oh my gosh, the door's been closed and it's because of this person, that person, and the other. You can look at it that way, or you can tune into the truth of your power and your protection and say, oh no, if that door closed, then it's not for me. Or if it's not for me at this time, which means I'm being taken into something better. And I trust that I'm being taken into something better. And yeah, it sucks that that door closed, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it doesn't, but I'm also not going to sit here and act like I'm not a child of the Most High God, or I'm not a fragment of source, or I'm not in command of my own energy, or like that didn't actually need to happen to unlock something greater. There's a huge difference in it's the same energy, but the difference is in how it's being treated and therefore alchemized, right? And so many of us are being taught these lessons of how to fine tune these things right now, because it's almost like tests. Like, well, are you sure you believe you are who you say you are? Do you believe it though? Because the trick of the Matrix was to make everybody else believe you were something, right? Even if you didn't believe it yourself. But this new earth, it's not about that. It's the other way around. In other words, no one's going to believe you are who you say you are until you do. Because we're no longer working with the inversion of energies. We're working from the inside out now, properly. Because before, what was happening is that we've always been working from the inside out, but they've been tampering with our fields. And now it's time for us to take control over what it is we're creating by being in total oneness and in unity and in union with self. And that comes by knowing who you are and really knowing it and holding on to that at every turn. So this is where we're being tested also. So are you sure you are who you say you are? You know, you sure you can turn that water into wine? Why, yes, I can. You know, it's not about convincing anyone else right now. It's about, it's not about convincing yourself. It's just about owning it. Owning it. Many of you don't even know the gifts that you have And it was very much constructed for you to stay in the dark about that. You don't even know. I was just working on someone's Tarotstrology report, and this person's energy, it blew my mind, because I feel like this person is someone who has no idea of the spiritual treasure they've been walking around with all this time they've been living on this earth, being made to feel, or maybe not them per se, but us in general. It made me think about this. Let's put it that way. Doing this report made me think about it more, like so many of us are walking this earth, and we've been made to feel in the 3D matrix that we're worthless. The whole time we're carrying the actual treasure and codes and the secrets of the universe within us that they don't want us to unlock, because then when we know who we are, then we'll know who they aren't. You know? This is why you can never judge a book by its cover. You can't. You never know. Some of the most potent activations, angelic activations I have received have been through homeless people, or people who I thought were homeless, and I turned around then and they weren't there. They were sent on my path to test me. How are you going to treat this person? Are you going to treat them with the love and respect? Are you going to treat them are you going to apply the golden rule? Are you going to treat them as you would want to be treated? Do you have the ability to place yourself empathetically in their shoes? These were tests that then helped to unlock more, activate more. And we've all been through those tests, right? And we're still going through them now. At every turn we're going through them now, even in how we deal with these people who send attacks to us. You know, because at the end of the day, you know, they're still souls. I don't believe anyone truly can get rid of their soul. I believe they can dim their light all the way. I believe the more light you give away, the more you sell, the more your soul becomes fragmented, but your soul is your essence. I don't think you can lose it completely. So there are soulless beings also. I'm not going to say that doesn't exist, but I am going to say that a lot of the human beings you've been dealing with who've been compromised and used, once upon a time had that original spark too. They had the divine breath. And so a lot of what's going on right now, I'm sure it's happening in many of your lives. Karma is unrolling. You're seeing it happen. And I bet it doesn't make you satisfied or happy in any way. There is that level of, yes, it means that things are moving for me, but I know for me as a divine being, when I see it happen, it hurts my heart, because it's just like, but why did it have to come to this? Why did you have to be so fucking stiff-necked, which means to be stubborn, unable to shift your direction, right? Really stuck and rooted. Saturnian energy also being very stubborn and hard-headed. Aries and Taurus energy, the shadow energies of those two. So it's like it's a bittersweet time we're in right now for many of us, and for those of you who still have, you know, the anger towards these people, I can't tell you not to. That's part of what you're here to alchemize on this part too. I've been there. I can go there in a second again too, and then I have to alchemize the energy. I'm never going to say that you don't have a right to every emotion that you feel. That would be a lie. That would be putting a block in your ascension, because it would be causing you to have to live illusion. But anyway, this is where I'm going to love you and leave you. I saw the tape pause, so I hope that it didn't do that fucking time-like thing again. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here with me. Thank you for helping me to grow. Thank you for all the work you're doing in healing yourselves and growing and sharing your light. When you do that for yourself, you do it for us all, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you. Yes. If you would like to work with me, You're free to check out my website. The information will be below. And once you decide if you want to go forward with any of my services, then you can drop me an email. The checkout function on my site is not on. I've turned it off purposely because I want to know who's coming to me directly. So that's how you are able to work with me. Is there anything else? No, I think that's it, right? I think that's it. Yes. I'm sending you guys so much love, beauty, joy, every beautiful thing under the sun. Until next time, be well.